Welcome back to the channel where we remember the stars who once brought magic into our lives, the faces who made us laugh, think, and feel something real. Today, we revisit The Good Life, the charming and heartfelt series that blended humor, warmth, and a touch of gentle wisdom in a way few shows ever could. Over the years, many of the incredible talents who helped bring that world to life have sadly left us. Whether they were central to the story or appeared for only a moment, each actor left their own special mark, a spark that stayed with us long after the credits rolled. George Cole, born George Edward Cole on April 22, 1925, in Tooting, South London, was an English acting legend whose extraordinary career stretched over 7 decades and touched almost every corner of British entertainment, from wartime cinema to beloved television classics. Adopted at just 10 days old by George and Florence Cole, he grew up in modest surroundings, moving to a council flat in Morden when he was 5. Life was not easy. His adoptive father struggled with serious health problems from injuries in the First World War. But young George found joy in entertaining his schoolmates, showing the spark that would one day make him a household name. He left school at 14 to work as a butcher's boy, dreaming of joining the Merchant Navy, but fate intervened when he landed a small part in a touring musical. At just 15, he was cast in the film Cottage to Let 1941, working alongside the great Alistair Sim. Sim and his wife took George and his mother into their home, mentoring him, helping him lose his Cockney accent, and teaching him the craft of acting, guidance George would later credit for shaping his entire career. After serving as a radio operator in the Royal Air Force during World War II, Cole returned to the screen, becoming well known in the 1950s and 60s as the cheeky, quick-witted Flash Harry in the St. Trinian's films and as the young Scrooge in Scrooge 1951. He worked steadily across film, stage, and radio, with memorable roles in A Life of Bliss, The Demi Paradise, and even Disney's The Scarecrow of Romney Marsh. In 1978, he appeared in The Good Life as Mr. Downs, a bank manager, during a royal performance attended by Queen Elizabeth II, an honor that reflected his standing in British television. But his most famous and enduring role began in 1979, when he was cast as Arthur Daly in Minder, the smooth-talking, cigar-smoking, nice little earner chasing wheeler dealer, paired with Dennis Waterman's tough but loyal Terry McCann. For 15 years, Cole brought Arthur Daly to life with such charm and comic brilliance that he became a national treasure, even if he admitted in his autobiography that he loathed the type of man Daly was. Off-screen, Cole was devoted to his family, marrying actress Penny Morell in 1967 and raising 4 children. Friends like Dennis Waterman remembered him as warm, witty, and utterly loyal, with Waterman saying they laughed all day, every day, when working together. On August 5, 2015, George Cole passed away at the age of 90 from pneumonia and sepsis at the Royal Berkshire Hospital in Reading, with his beloved wife Penny and children Toby and Tara by his side. His death brought an outpouring of tributes from colleagues and fans. Sir Roger Moore called him a gentleman, and BBC Director General Tony Hall said he had a very special place in the public's affection. At his funeral, the Minder theme song played as Dennis Waterman gave a heartfelt eulogy, honoring not just an actor whose work could make millions laugh, but a kind, generous man whose passion for acting never dimmed. Today, whether remembered as the cunning Arthur Daly, the slick Flash Harry, or the many other roles he made unforgettable, George Cole's legacy remains that of a true British icon who gave his life to the craft and left behind a body of work that will keep audiences smiling for generations. Paul Eddington, the much-admired English actor whose gentle humor and understated brilliance made him one of Britain's most cherished television stars, passed away on November 4, 1995, at the age of 68 after a remarkably brave and private battle with a rare and disfiguring form of skin cancer, mycosis fungoides. Born Paul Clark Eddington on June 18, 1927 in Paddington, London, and raised in St. John's Wood in a devout Quaker household, Paul grew up with a strong moral compass shaped by his parents' deep values and his father's lifelong pacifism following the horrors of the First World War. Those beliefs stayed with him for life, leading him to register as a conscientious objector during wartime, a decision that reflected the quiet integrity he carried both as a man and as a performer. His acting journey began during the Second World War with ENSA, entertaining troops, though his pacifist stance eventually saw him leave. From there, he honed his craft in repertory theater in Sheffield, Birmingham, and Ipswich, slowly building a career through the 1950s and 60s with steady but modest television work in The Adventures of Robin Hood, The Prisoner, Special Branch, Maigret, The Avengers, and numerous stage roles. For 2 decades, he was the epitome of the hardworking, versatile actor, respected within the industry, but not yet a household name. That changed dramatically in 1975 when he was cast in The Good Life, the much-loved BBC sitcom about a suburban couple turning to self-sufficiency. As Jerry Ledbetter, the impeccably dressed, slightly pompous, but ultimately good-hearted neighbor to Richard Briers and Felicity Kendall's characters, Paul struck comedy gold. Paired with Penelope Keith as his socially ambitious wife Margot, the Ledbetters became as integral to the show's charm as the central couple, and Paul's subtle delivery, wry expressions, and warmth made Jerry unforgettable. This late-blooming fame grew even greater in the 1980s with Yes Minister and its sequel Yes, Prime Minister, in which Paul played Jim Hacker, a well-meaning but often flustered politician constantly outmaneuvered by Nigel Hawthorne's masterful Sir Humphrey Appleby. The political satire became a cultural touchstone, earning Paul 4 BAFTA nominations and the admiration of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher herself, who awarded him a CBE in 1987. Yet, behind his success, Paul had been quietly battling cancer since the age of 28, concealing his condition from the public and much of the industry. The disease, which gradually darkened and marked his skin, was kept secret for decades until, in 1994, he chose to speak openly to silence cruel speculation from the tabloid press. Even as his health declined, he continued to work, sometimes leaving set briefly in pain, then returning without complaint, delivering powerful performances in The Chamomile Lawn, voicing Badger in The Adventures of Mole, and appearing on stage in plays such as Home alongside his close friend Richard Briers. His final public appearance came just 5 days before his death in a BBC face-to-face interview, where his face showed the ravages of his illness. Yet his dignity, wit, and humility shone through. When asked how he wished to be remembered, he simply said he hoped people would say he did very little harm, a reflection of the kindness and decency that defined his life. Surrounded by his wife Patricia and their 4 children in his final moments, Paul left behind not just a body of outstanding work, but a legacy of professionalism, quiet courage, and genuine humanity. For audiences, Jerry Ledbetter will always carry Paul's warmth and comic grace, while Jim Hacker will stand as a testament to his razor-sharp timing, 2 roles that ensured Paul Eddington's place in the hearts of millions forever. Angela Thorne, the elegant and gifted British actress whose presence on stage and screen spanned over 5 decades, passed away peacefully at her Battersea home on June 16, 2023, at the age of 84. leaving behind a career filled with unforgettable performances and a deep affection from audiences who grew up watching her. Born Angela Margaret Leslie Thorne on January 25, 1939, in Karachi, British India, she spent her early childhood surrounded by the unique world of colonial India, the daughter of an Indian Army doctor and a schoolteacher mother. At the age of 5, her family moved to England, where she attended Farlington School in Horsham before earning a scholarship to the Guildhall School of Music and Drama, a decision that would shape the rest of her life. Angela began her career in repertory theater, quickly establishing herself as a versatile performer, with roles ranging from Shakespeare's Portia in The Merchant of Venice to comedic turns in contemporary plays. She would go on to become a familiar face on British television, appearing in Elizabeth R. Get Some In, Midsummer Murders, Foyle's War, Heartbeat, and 3 Up, 2 Down. But her most iconic and beloved role came in 1979, when she was cast as Marjorie Frobisher in the BBC's hit sitcom To the Manor Born. As Audrey Forbes Hamilton's loyal and endlessly patient friend, Angela's Marjorie brought warmth, charm, and gentle humor to the show, perfectly balancing the sharper wit of Penelope Keith's lead character. She reprised the role for a radio version in 1997 and the 2007 Christmas special, delighting fans who had missed seeing Marjorie's gentle smile and steady presence. Her range as an actress was further proven when she portrayed Margaret Thatcher in the satirical Anyone for Dennis, a performance so uncannily accurate that it earned her a Laurence Olivier Award nomination. Angela also made her mark in film, most memorably as the voice of the Queen in the animated adaptation of Roald Dahl's The BFG 1989. Off-screen, she enjoyed a long and happy marriage to actor Peter Penry Jones until his death in 2009, and together they raised 2 sons, Rupert and Lawrence, both of whom followed their parents into acting. Friends and colleagues remember her as warm, sharp-witted, and dedicated, a woman who carried herself with grace, yet never lost her sense of fun. Her family's tribute, calling her the beloved wife of Peter Penry Jones and saying, "We will all miss her very much," reflects not only their loss, but also the affection of countless fans who still treasure the characters she brought to life. In saying goodbye to Angela Thorne, we farewell a true gem of British television, a performer whose talent and charm will continue to live on in the hearts of all who loved her work.